snapshot. All right. Hello, beautiful, life-full souls. My name is Trisha Barker, and I'm so happy to be here with Chris Batts, a near-death experiencer, and Peter Panagore, who has been on my channel several times before. I really am excited about Chris's story because I hope you don't mind me telling your age. Is it okay?
No.
Yeah. Chris
Go
is
ahead.
30, and I think that millennials really need to be engaged in this conversation about near-death experiences and really understand how much the other side can participate in our lives and offer us healing. And I think Chris has an amazing story, just a truly amazing story, and one of great healing. So thank you for being here, Peter, and thank you for being here, Chris.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and my first question really to you is just, if you don't mind, just telling us your story, not too much of the backstory, but really just that point where you left this world and you started interacting in the other world. So you can give a little bit of background about your experience. Yes.
Okay. Well, just long story short, it was a life of like a hard childhood. That's basically what it came from, was a childhood. And years of being depressed and suicidal. I've not much of a talker, I'm a doer. So instead of like going to talk to someone, I decided I'll just take care of it myself, and I killed myself. And that's how I had my near death experience.
And you were in a car, right?
I was in a-
What happened? So what was
I
your
was on the
mental state?
At this point, I was planning my suicide already. And I was about a few months was just planning. And I was with a friend of mine, and I was in her car. So I was on the phone with my mother, who I haven't spoken to in years. So she called me to tell me my grandma gave her my number to wish me happy birthday or whatever. Her main reason of calling me was to tell me that I'm not her, that she's not my mom, and she doesn't love me.
Well,
Yeah, and don't claim me, I'm not your mom, I don't want you, and all that. As I'm planning suicide already, so that kind of made me more encouraged. So during that exact conversation, I said, F you, and I threw the phone out the window of the car, and my friend was in the driver's seat, I'm in the passenger seat. So I throw the phone out the window, open the door, and then all I remember is boom, the back of my head hitting the concrete.
So, and for those of you who have watched my channel, I know that suicide is something that people often ask people a lot about. So, I mean, you have kind of a heavy responsibility, I think, just
Yes.
from all the people who contact you
Yes.
and are feeling suicidal.
Yes.
What did you think it would just be over? Did you think your
Yes.
life would just be done? It would
Yes.
just be blackness?
Yes, that's
Or-
why I did it.
Really?
That's
You just
why I
wanted
did it.
the end?
Yes.
And what did you find instead?
I found the complete opposite, because as soon as I'm in this void, and then I hear from God, I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna get it now. I'm thinking that what I was told from religion teaches you, do as I say or you're gonna burn in hell, and that's what I thought I was. But at this point, I didn't care. I just wanted to get away from what I was going through then. I'm like, hell couldn't be as bad as what I'm going through now. So what ended up happening was, God is telling me, the exact words was, I am God. Yes, I am real. Yes, angels are real. They're a gift from me. And then he asks me if I wanted to meet him. I said no. Yeah. Because I didn't believe any of that stuff existed. I just thought it was God, the devil, you die, you go to hell if you sin, and then you go to heaven if you don't sin. That was my understanding.
Right, right. And
So,
I do kind of want to bring Peter into this conversation too, because, you know, I grew up in an evangelical home, and I heard that message too. I even sat in some funerals where I heard a minister say, your son killed himself, he overdosed with drugs, he's burning in hell right now, I'm so sorry for that. And, you know, as a reverend, what's your take on,
well,
you know,
I'm shocked that somebody would say such a thing to a grieving family, and to have the lack of compassion and empathy to cause further damage, emotional and psychological damage, to those who are already in pain.
yeah.
So that's just a terrible approach to for a clergy person to take, to try to help the family heal in a
Right.
totally tragic situation.
And that it's not even the truth.
It's
because
not. It's not even the truth. It's not.
what did you
right.
experience? Like in this realm, did you start seeing immediately as soon as you're out of body? Did you see yourself? What did you begin to see?
Well, I didn't see myself. I just, the first thing, it was just this void, and that's when God, I felt God. You felt that supreme being, you knew it was God. You just know. And I felt worthless, like I wasn't supposed to be here. Like, why are you talking to me? I'm like, oh, that's what it is. You came to take me to hell. That's what I'm thinking because of what I was told. I was so brainwashed that I'm headed for hell. But I felt him, as crazy as it sounds, I felt him give me a hug.
Oh,
Like, I felt him get down to his knee and give me a hug.
oh,
And I'm like, wait, why are you doing this for me? I don't even deserve to be here right now. You're talking to me. Do you know how I've done some stupid things in life? So, well, he tells me is, no, I want you now, like you are now. So then I asked him, well, what's something if I go back, would you want me to tell people? And he said, tell everybody that I love them.
mm-hmm.
So that's what he wanted me to do, is tell everybody that he loves them. And I felt like I could do that.
And that is like the essential message we heard Mary Neal speaking earlier today. And the core that runs through every religion is love. And the core that runs through every important thing that I learned in heaven is love. So you've kind of crystallized it.
Same here. And being unworthy to receive the love, I had that experience too.
You did?
I did. I was not worthy to receive the love because the power of the divine was so eternally overwhelming.
Yes.
What am I to be receptive of this? And then I was told you're beloved.
Yes.
Just like everybody's beloved.
It's so much love, it's unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know. I felt like all the cracks and wounds within me were being healed in that moment. I couldn't believe that there was so much love. And I was like, I've never felt this before. Like, what in the world is this? Like, I'm loved, I'm held, I'm supported.
But me, at my point, I'm thinking, instead of realizing I'm loved, I'm more asking why. And I felt horrible for being loved because of what I was told. So my main thing was like, why me? Why you love me? I'm not supposed to be anything.
I
That's
deserve
how I was.
hell. I deserve hell.
Yes. Even though I knew, I was always like, I always tried to treat people good. I always, but like I said, it's just I was so brainwashed that I wasn't good enough.
So what happened next in your experience?
I see my guardian angels. They like that. They just appear. So one on this side, one on this side, and this one on this side asks me if I want to go or stay. Then the one on my right side tells me that I have a lot to do for so many people.
And was it communicated like all at once? Did it feel like telepathy or did it feel like a conversation?
It's all telepathy up here. Everything I was thinking, they answered right back right away. So I didn't ask audibly. I just like that. It was through their mind. And I remember I looked at this angel right here because he had like this red flannel shirt with the sleeves rolled up to his elbows. And he was like really buff. And I was like, dude, I'm going to the gym when I look that. It was insane. I was like, this dude is jacked, man. I'm like, yeah. So, and this guy is telling me that you're loved. I love you. You're good enough. And I'm like, I thought you were going to kill me or something, but no, it was completely opposite.
And so did they give you like some idea of what you would be doing or did
All
they
they
give you...
told me was that you got a lot to do for so many people. And after that, they told me, empty your mind of everything that you ever know. And we're gonna teach you what you need to know. But this part didn't come until I was in the hospital and I was trying to learn how to walk and talk again. Because I couldn't talk and I couldn't walk on my own.
So let's get there. So you were with the angels for a time, and did you get a sense of when you were going back in your body, or did you get more
They
information?
told me to look down at my body. Because they read my mind and they knew I needed proof. I'm always doubting everything. I have trust issues. Anybody that knows me knows I have trust issues. They tell me to look down and I did. They say, look down again. I'm like, yeah, I look down. They're like, no, look down again. You need to see this is real. So you can go back and tell people. So I look at my body just on the ground. I'm like, wait, how am I here? And it was like in the air and there's like this little cloud. If I would have crossed it, I wouldn't have came back. So they're telling me they're even asking me, do I want to go or stay?
Mm-hmm.
They left the decision up to me. So I'm like, wait, you're telling me I killed myself, and you're telling me that I have a choice whether to go or stay. Still, that's how much love it is. So some told me to go back, and they said, okay, before you go back, we just really want you to see your body. So here's the paramedics over my body, and it's kind of like the camera like kind of zoomed in, and I seen it, and they looked down with me. Then I looked back up at both of them, and they said, we don't want, that's not what we want. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll go back. So before that, they were just telling me a lot of stuff's gonna change, and I'm not gonna see things the same, which they were right. And they, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
a few days later in the hospital, that's when they told me empty my mind of everything I've ever known.
So they were still with you.
Oh yeah, to that, and ever since then, that's even seeing them in person, I have proof. So I said, well, you guys, please don't ever leave. Like, stay here forever, so I don't have to question anything anymore. So even now to this day, if I have questions, I ask them. They tell me things they want me to know. I ask them for advice about every single thing.
And I love that about your story. That's one of the reasons I wanted to interview you, and we'll definitely get to that because I think it's so helpful for people to realize they can call on angels for anything.
Yes, anything.
Literally.
You think you're limited, but it's not limited. You can literally ask them every single thing.
So when did you feel yourself being shoved back into your body? Did it happen
Nope.
before? So
No,
you were in
it just
a coma, or what's
quick.
just
I
quick?
like when they looked at me and I said I'm going back. I woke up in the hospital, and they said I was gone for a few days. I was asleep for a few days. That's
Oh,
what
wow.
they told me. That's what the
Like
nurses.
in a coma.
That's what the nurses told me. Because as soon as I opened my eyes, I seen a nurse, and they said, "The miracle, he's up, he's woke."
Mm.
They said we thought you were gone. Of course, I was in ICU.
Mhm.
Right.
Of course, And the only thing in my mind, I didn't know I died. I just seen Jello, and I'm like, Jello. I was like, can I eat this? And they're like, yeah, it's yours. I was like, it's mine, like all mine.
Oh, interesting. So did you have any memory while you're in that coma, or there was just like
Nope.
nothing from that seeing your body to the
No,
moment? you
it
woke up?
wasn't until I got transferred from ICU to a regular room the next day. I got transferred to another room. There was no nurses in there at this time, so I was just by myself. Then it hit me.
Did your family show up and different people?
Of
No?
course, no.
No.
The thing is,
Mm.
one of the only family members I keep in touch with is one of my aunts, and
Oh.
I told my friend, you better not ever call her. They said, why? I said, because she doesn't care. Don't tell her nothing.
Mm.
That's how it was. So I was, like I said, alone. But when like my angels were there, I felt like I wasn't alone anymore.
And you're not, and that's something that, like even in the worst of families, even in the worst of situations, even when someone seems to die alone, they always have their angels with them, and they always
Yes.
have that other side present with them, and I think that's so comforting when you know it.
Yes.
When you know you're not alone.
Yeah. You're by yourself, but you're far from alone. Yeah.
Yeah, so do you, well, first I want to talk a little bit about your recovery and just kind of lead people through that. So you had a lot to recover from, and how did you do that? Did you keep in contact with the angels throughout
Oh,
that?
I did. Yeah, I did. And I remember being wheelchaired out of the hospital, and I looked at the concrete, and it just was like an instant replay of that boom that hit the back of my head. As soon as I seen the concrete, and that's when I looked up at the sky, and I said, "Wait, I was lied to."
Mm.
I said, and that's when it all started coming back to me. I'm like, oh, I did meet my angels, because I started getting memory back and stuff like that. Then I still wasn't able to taste at this point. I couldn't really smell or taste, but I remembered. And so that's all I want, is to remember what happened. And until maybe a couple days after that, I was trying to like talk, and I couldn't because my tongue was stuck to my mouth. And then that's when, in the back of my mind, it just said, empty your mind of everything you've ever known. We're going to teach you everything.
Huh. And,
We're going to teach you how to walk, how to talk, we're going to teach you everything that you need to know.
and I have a little bit of knowledge of that from healing my back, but so they guided you through the whole
The
healing?
whole thing. I have
process.
seen no professional. It was
Really?
just every ounce of advice, every ounce of everything was all
And
them.
what are some of the things you did?
Well, like I would just okay, it sounds crazy, but I would have certain dreams of dreams I had about when I was little, and all the stuff that happened added up. So I started remembering. I got my memory back. So then at that point, I asked them. I said, "Well, help me out here. I'm gonna try to walk. Help me out." And then I made a joke. I'm like, "So if I'm drunk, would you guys like walk with me? And if I can't walk?" And they're like, "Who else would do it?" And I'm like, "Oh, you guys are cool." So that's when I started seeing you can like literally tell them everything. So obviously I didn't drink, but you know, I said just in case. They said, "Yeah, yes, we would be there."
Yeah, it reminds me of a Bible verse, like if I go to the farthest oceans, you're there. If I travel the farthest winds, you'll be there. So God is with us.
Yes.
His messengers
Yes.
are with us.
Through literally everything. The most alcoholic person, the most drug addicted person, they're always loved by God, and God doesn't see them any different.
Not because of what they've done and who
No,
they are,
no.
but because of the love itself.
Yes.
So I'm guessing that your experience was similar to mine, is that your unworthiness didn't matter because you were beloved.
Yes.
Because God is love, that was the reason that you were healed.
But you know what I felt from God? It was so much love that it made him sad. That the fact that I didn't know that I was loved. And there's many people who don't know. And it's not the fact that, see, my religion, the Baptist church and all that stuff, they teach you that God is angry and he's angry at everybody. The thing is, sometimes you can tell he's unhappy, but it's not because of what they call sin. It's more like there's so many people that don't know, and people, they don't know that he loves them. So he wants them to know. And if you tell them, they're not going to believe you.
Do you think that that's part of our mission? You know, like the two of you, I
Yes.
think it's part of mine.
It's
is
part of it's mine.
Sure.
It's mine.
To remind people that they are loved. You know, like
That's the totality of it.
yeah, in the deepest sorrow that you ever go through, in your toughest times, you're loved. In your happiest times, you're loved. In every moment of your life, you're loved. And if you know that, then you just want to give it away. Like, you know, that's all you want to do is you just want others to know.
Yeah, especially when I was in like God's presence and I didn't see his face. Angels, I seen their face. They were big, 8 feet, 9 feet. But God, I didn't see him. I know it would have been too powerful, but I felt him and heard him. You know, and one thing I asked, I said, "What's the biggest thing you want me to do when I go back?" The only thing he said is, "Go tell everyone I love them." That's it.
I feel like we should get some signs after this and like just go hold them.
I
You're
wanted-
loved.
The only thought in my mind, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to run around my whole city and tell everybody, like, "God loves you. God, it's okay. God loves you." You know?
I know. I was saying earlier that we need a near-death experience bus that travels around the country, like, and we give readings, and we just, God loves you.
Over and over and over again.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Interesting. So that was the biggest message from your near-death experience. But I love the communication. So now, 6 years after your near-death experience, do you still feel them as strongly, the guardian angels? Do you still stay in contact with them?
I feel them stronger than ever.
And what's something that people come to you a lot and ask about connecting with angels, or what's some of the best advice that you can give people who don't see angels?
What are angels like? Tell me.
Really, Jack.
Do they have emotions? Do they love people? Do they hate? Do you think they were like me? Like,
Aww.
yeah. And I always tell them like this. I say of course they like you, they love you. It's not like you're not good enough for people. Just because they love me doesn't mean, and they're my angels doesn't mean that they're not gonna love you. The same way. It's more like, yes, you can. It's the spiritual realm is so much different than. It's hard to explain. There's not so many rules in the spiritual realm. Than this life, they teach you, well, we can't say this because it's mine, right? Well, this is my angel, so they're probably not gonna love that one. You can't talk to my angel because it's my angel. It's not like that.
Yeah. There's so many of them too. I don't know if you've ever had this experience, but I talk about it a lot. When someone asked me a few years after my near-death experience, "Do you still see angels?" And I was like, "Oh no." And then I don't. And then I looked up and I saw them everywhere on a sidewalk. And I saw 2 around many people. And I saw discarnate beings, ghosts, and I said there's
Yeah.
like so many beings everywhere. And I
Let me
was,
tell you, I started seeing shadows
Oh
the
yeah.
beginning, because I think what it is, God will put something on you to see. Just start by little. Like, you know how you might give a little kindergartner a graham cracker, like a piece of the graham cracker. They eat that, you'll give them more and more till they can handle the whole thing. That's what it was. I started seeing shadows running by, or I might see one sitting here on top of a building, or there might be a snake on top of it. It just depends on what it is. And I said, "Don't show me that. It's freaking me out." And I never seen them again
Yeah.
after that.
yeah.
But I know they're there. I don't see them.
I know. So I got that split second vision where I saw them clear as day, as if they were just people walking around. Some were larger, and I was like, "Okay, God, thank you. I can't
Yeah,
handle that. That would
no.
get really confusing.
It's
That might be
beginning.
just talking to this like invisible being to most people." You know,
Yeah, it's just the beginning.
That's
Just take this thing slow.
Okay, yeah.
We want to take things slow, but the way they say it, it's like, no, you don't have time to take it slow. There's people dying every day who don't know. Like, you have to do this now. The way I was told, like, go, go, go. It was like urgent.
Yeah, so there's an urgency to
Like, do
these
this
times.
now. Do this now.
And I think your generation, so millennials, being young and being kind of disconnected from spirituality, like there's meditation apps and there's guided meditation apps, but there isn't the searching perhaps that goes into spirituality at older ages. So what do you think is the best way to connect with people who are younger and feel immortal? Like you're gonna live forever when you're young.
To be honest, I think, in my opinion,
Mm.
I kind of have to disagree.
Really?
Yeah, I think more of the older like generation, it's harder to get through to them with spirituality because their minds are already set.
Oh.
They already have the older, like grandma, all those people, they already have their mindset. The younger generation, at least it'll be a little easier to get through to them because they'll be like, wait, because those are the ones who mainly ask me like, can you tell me about your angels, or hey, ask your angel something for me, or something like that. I'm like, really?
So, do you, I think I saw in one of your videos, like, they even give you dating tips, angels? Is that-
Everything, yeah.
Dating tips?
I learned a whole lot. I've learned a whole lot.
So what's some
Let
of
me
the
tell you,
dating tips?
even I learned a whole lot about women. I've learned a lot about women, period, just because through them.
Really?
Like, I kid you not. A lot of stuff they taught me, and I learned, like, oh, this is true. It works. Like,
Like, give me an example.
okay, one thing they did tell me was, women are, one of the first things I ever learned from them was women are completely wired differently than men.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand. I'm like, no, they're human. Like, we're all
True,
human.
True.
But they're like, no,
Yeah.
they're women. You have to be gentle with them. But what if they're mean? It's all like, they're women. You have to be a little more gentle with them because they're women. So I'm like, all right, I guess. So then one other thing they also told me was, I'm going to give all my tips away. I told them, I'm like, one thing, well, look. So one thing they told me was they like confident guys. And I was like, really? And they said, yeah. They said they like confident guys. Not too much. But they need to know you're sure of yourself. And I'm like, is this real? Does this really work? They're like, yeah. But at least enough confidence so that they could be humble to someone else. You know?
Mhm.
Not to where they think they're better than everybody else. But not exactly like have the lowest self-esteem about yourself either. So it's
Confident
more like,
but not arrogant.
yes,
Yeah.
like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And that's also like being loved by God too, just knowing that you're fine as you are, and that
And that's
Exactly so.
exactly what it has a lot to do with God.
Mhm.
Especially, okay, women are a lot closer to God than men are.
oh, why do you say that?
Because you know what? To be honest with you, I think the Bible, as much as I hate that book, I think there's part of it of the Bible that they said man was made first and then women, which it kind of makes sense now because it's like, okay, a man was here first, right? Then God goes, okay, now I'm gonna make you someone special. I'm gonna specially make you something like close to angels almost. I'm gonna call her a woman, and there's gonna be plenty of them. They're gonna have babies, something that guys can't do, you know, or
Yeah.
or they might think they might be able to take a whole lot more mentally and like spiritually. It kind of amazes me how like even some women stay with the same guy for years and years and years, tortured, and they're just like, oh, I love him, you know, I'm so emotional. God's emotional. So when, you know what I mean, God's more emotional, and so are women. So it's more like it started making sense to me.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because we are two different, men and women are different. And so talking is so important. So communication
Yeah.
is like the way to understand one another. And I think that, that's a big push in education and counseling in so many different areas. And it's interesting that your angels are giving you communication to help you understand differences and communicate
Yeah.
differently.
Like in one of my videos I did, I actually said that I compared it to a guy might be driving and he's with his girlfriend, and the girl's like, "Oh, babe, look at this guy. He's like homeless on the street." And then the guy's like, "Oh, he'll be all right." And they're like, "But don't you feel bad?" Like they've kind of like have more of a conscience than guys. Guys kind of more like brush it off and keep going, but they'll be like, "We should help him. Let's get him a bottle of water or something like that." It's completely different, but they're closer to God like that because that's something God would do.
Interesting. Well, and that brings up a deep topic, really, but like when young boys are raised, they see their mom and they're like, I'm not like mom, so I don't have to be like mom. I don't have to take care of everyone. And then girls see mom and they're like, oh, I have to take care of everyone. And so they
Yes.
have a different
Yeah.
Socialization,
Yeah.
where they come from. And so there's that element too. And then it's tiring. You're like, oh God, I don't want to take care of everyone. Like that,
Yeah.
that sounds horrible. And so God takes care of everyone. So I kind of see where you're going from.
Yeah.
So it's like this mentality
They have more in
of
common.
of caretaking
Yeah.
is sometimes associated more
Yes.
so with women in creation.
So do
And
you
I
feel
think men
like
are-
more of a caretaker yourself now? I mean, has your experience given you more compassion toward those, made you more feminine, so to speak?
Yeah, yeah. I really know my feminine side, but at the same time, when you really know your feminine side, you know your man side, your male side,
Sure.
as protector.
Yeah.
So you can
Yeah.
also hold those down because that's the man's job to be a protector.
Amen to that. Like, so there's a lot of, and this is where, like, men and women can become stereotypes. Like, there can be the super feminine woman who
Yeah,
has no protective spirit,
Right.
like, and then men can be so in touch with their feelings and so nice that they don't protect anyone.
that's what I'm saying. That's where it's
Right,
too much.
right.
There's like
Yeah.
a such thing as too much.
Mhm.
You have to know, like you have to know who you are. You have to be sure. That
Yeah.
way you'll know how to understand someone else. So it's like when I found out who I was, I started understanding I wasn't so like bitter towards like if a girl would make me mad or something. I was more like, all right, she's a girl. I got it. That's cool. But I'm more of like, I think guys are meant to be more protectors. That's so you can't have like a low self-esteem about yourself and not, kind of like be down on yourself all the time and not think anything of yourself and then go protect a woman. It's not going to work. And the woman alone already needs a man that's strong like male to protect her, because she's so emotional. Maybe she needs that strong like structure. Just like a guy might need that strong structure in God.
And did I hear that your angels also give you like workout tips and tips about eating and what are they that involved in your life?
They have a sense of humor.
Really?
Yeah, and I know it was them because one day I was making a sandwich. No, I was eating a microwave pizza. I'm lying, and it was a microwavable pizza. I put the pizza right, kind of like at the edge. I'm kind of OCD. I don't like stuff at the edge in case it falls. So I pushed it away from the edge. All of a sudden, the same plate ends up on the floor, and I knew who it was. I said, "Really? I just put this in the microwave." So I made a sandwich. So then after that, they just told me, "Why don't you eat the sandwich because it's healthier?" So I was like, "All right, you right.
So, Chris, do you think that your angels tell you things that help you in the context of your life, of the way that you
No.
understand yourself?
No, they help me understand. See, this is the thing. I guess it was meant for me not to have my mom, not to have my dad, all that stuff, and kind of to always be alone. That way, I could start from scratch. So I don't have to compare it to, like, I don't have to compare anything. So when I'm learning, it's a lot easier for them to tell me something. Instead of me like, well, my dad told me this, or I learned this. It's more like, well, no one's ever taught me, so, so that's how it is. So I think the stuff they tell me is more so I can tell everybody else. Not necessarily just to help me, but it's something that I need to tell everybody else that doesn't know.
Interesting.
So when you talk to your pals, your men friends, if you have them, and did you hang out with these guys who talk to you about your angels, and you tell them about your dating tips? How do they respond to
To
that
be
kind of
honest
stuff?
with you, I've lost quite a few friends.
No,
since-
NDE will do that to you.
Yeah, well.
So, yeah, but I mean, far as male friends, I don't, I mean, yeah, I'll tell them certain things and they'll say, well, how did you know that? I'll be like, I don't,
Yeah, my
I just
angels
know.
told me, and they're like,
No, if I say that, I'm crazy. So I just say, oh,
Right,
no, I just say
exactly,
like, I just tell them like certain tips, and they say, okay, well, that's how'd you know that, or something like that.
Interesting.
Or like I might even like, I'll be like, you see how that girl looked at you? Yeah, how'd you know? She's looking right at you. Well, how'd you know it's me? Or we might even like, well, I say I would go to the club with them or something, and this is before my NDE. I didn't even know anything about like being awakened. I just felt it, you know. And they'll be like, my friends were the ones that will always go up to like the wrong girls and like the ones in groups, and I'm like, leave them alone. Maybe they want to dance with their girls right now. Well, how do you know? Because they didn't look at you. They didn't look back at you when you looked at them. Oh, you're right. And it just so happens every now and then, if I would look at like a girl, like whatever I was interested in, and then they would look back at me, and I would, okay, then maybe they'll give me the okay. Maybe go ask her to dance. I'm gonna wait for the right time. Most of the, about 95% of the time, they came to me. Either it was you want to dance or they just grabbed me. It was either one.
Interesting. So, what are your angels saying to you about getting your message out? So you came here to IANDS, and this was kind of just, it all happened. It was meant to happen. Do you think that that's helped you in some way to have more confidence to go back into your town and spread more of this word of love?
It gives me more confidence to keep doing what I'm doing. Like as far as like videos and all that stuff, because I was at a questionable part, right? Like, because I was under spiritual attack. One of my videos I even brought it up, like something that happens when you're in the spiritual realm. You start doing good, certain bad stuff starts happening to you sometimes. It's spiritual attack because evil does exist. And there are evil people, there are evil like spirits out there that don't want you to do good. So when they see you're doing good, they try to ruin that. And I was almost there just by saying after conference I'm done, but obviously I'm not.
The way and I'm still growing in my understanding. It'll be interesting to see how you think about this. But when I'm in a state of just bliss and love and total alignment with God and not fear in any way, then I don't even feel any attack. Like I'm so aligned with that light. But if my self-esteem gets knocked around, or if I go through something kind of difficult, then I'm a little more weakened. And I don't even know sometimes if it's a negative attack or if I just hear people's thoughts, judgmental thoughts of me. I don't know, exactly what it is, but I do feel that in weakened states, I'm more vulnerable to
That's when they come.
attacks.
That's when they're gonna come.
But-
I'm in the same boat, and my defense against that is meditation.
Oh,
And so when I'm feeling weakened by circumstances, when I'm under attack, I dive ever deeper inside myself, because that's where I access the divine. Not because I'm special, but because everybody has this opening inside them that reaches back into heaven. And so I refocus myself, and there I find my strength inside. It might not change the circumstance I'm in.
Right.
I might still be getting attacked, but it gives me the strength to endure, maybe the strength to think about it in a different way.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nature and meditation can
Nature.
realign me in certain ways. And when you're in that place, do you do something like that? Go inward or?
What I do, like you said, nature. Sometimes like there's this one certain bus stop by my house. I always go to that bus stop because it's perfect. There's trees around. There's like mountains, everything. There's everything around. So I just go out there, put my headphones in because I love music, and I always kind of meditate through music, or maybe it might be an instrumental. It just depends on what it is. It's always music, and that's when I just start, I guess, releasing all the negatives. There's even certain times, because angels will tell you the truth, whether you want to hear it or not. There was a couple times I kind of came a little down on myself. They're like, nah, like that's you chose to come down on yourself, and I'm like, thanks for the pep talk, like, but they were right, because I was choosing to kind of like come down on myself, so whatever.
It's interesting. Sometimes we can have a certain level of perfectionism, I guess, knowing God. Like, I find this in myself. If I'm going through a difficult time, I'm mad at myself for having to go through the difficult time. I'm like, why can't I release this? Why can't I be in a great state? So there's actually compassion we have to show for ourselves when we're going through challenging times.
Yeah, they'll tell me stuff like, "You act like you don't know." Like they speak my language. They're like, "You act like you don't know." Like, all right, you're right. Stop being down on yourself. Get up. Let's do this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
So, what are some of the after effects besides communicating with angels that you've experienced? Because Peter gave a talk on his after effects. I gave a talk on my after effects, and they're pretty extensive. Like how life changes after a near-death experience.
Life changes. Um. Well, I've got really into trying to find those who are like emotionally messed up
Hmm.
and spiritually in doubt of like their own spirituality versus the ones that already know.
Hmm.
I'm kind of going for the ones that don't know
Mm.
because I was one of the ones who didn't know, and
Yeah.
I didn't like that was torture. That was hell in itself.
Hmm.
So, for me to actually see people still suffering, especially when you know the truth, you don't want to see anybody else suffer. And so even like my own family members, I'm like, I hate that I got to see them, even though they treated me so bad, they did this and that. Just like you kind of hate to see them suffer.
Because you love them.
Did you?
Yeah, you have love. You have love. Even though like there's no good memories with these people, it's just like, well, even though you did what you did, I still don't want you to suffer.
Mm-hmm.
Did suffering become something that you were concerned about too, Peter? Like, it seems like in your work you've worked with
Yeah.
domestic violence survivors. Homeless.
And
Yeah.
strangulation, and compassion for those who are wounded. I don't try to change them. I try to carry the light and the message, and I leave any sort of conversion they might have up to them. But sometimes I'm not even interested in trying to bring the message itself through language. Sometimes it's just about getting them food on the table or helping the domestically abused person escape from the violence. It's very practical, but it has to do with alleviation of suffering. I mean, I know that I can't fix people. I can't solve some family that's in a domestically abuse situation. The best we can do is like rescue the kids, or something like that. I can't really solve the problems beyond that, but we do what we can to help what we at the level that we're able to.
Now, me, I would go for the abuser and wonder why the heck are they abusing?
Well,
What is it that
yeah, except for
makes
when,
them feel like so horrible about
True.
themselves that
true, but in a situation that's desperate, you have to save the people
oh
who are
yeah,
in danger
definitely.
first. And then in the domestic violence world, the reason why people were able to continue to perpetrate the crimes was that nobody was talking about it. And so one of the things that the community does is when we know that there's a perpetrator of violence, we say to that person, we know what you're doing. This is not a secret. We know you're abusing her. And just by calling them out, you create a network around this person where they can't hide it anymore, and the person who's being abused is safer as a result. And sometimes the abusers do they have reasons that they're abusive. They got abused, and their grandma got abused, and it just comes down the family line. And yeah, we definitely want to help them, but rescuing those who are in danger first is the priority.
Yeah.
But suffering in this world in general seems to be something that we come back from more aware of
Yeah.
suffering,
More compassionate.
more compassionate. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
and not blaming. I mean, I don't get angry at these people
Oh yeah.
because I recognize that I'm as broken as they are.
Yeah.
I know that only God is pure, only God is whole, only God is love, and everybody else here, we're all struggling, we're all suffering, and so I don't think it's helpful to point the finger at them without pointing the finger at myself. So
Yeah.
to approach them with the compassion of knowing that I'm also a broken person.
Like I'm not better than you.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I'm saying.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's where healing begins, is with that, that moment where the light comes on and they're like, oh, I do want to address my own wounds, because once you do,
Yeah.
then you're able to live a purer life and, see things more clearly. Did your angels communicate anything about healing to you? Like emotional wounds, or, because I think I just went to your talk and you said that, you haven't gone to talk with a counselor
No.
after or any of that.
No. I like I said, when I realized I was loved, I started. How can I explain this? I got more confidence in myself after that. When I realized I was loved, so at that point I was like, well, maybe I am worth something then. So then you start thinking different. It's like a chain. I felt loved. Then I start changing the way I carry myself. Then I start changing the way I would dress. Then I start taking more care of like your hygiene. And then it's like you do everything different, and then people notice. And then you have more patience with people. You have more kindness, compassion with people. And it's stuff that you don't think about. It just comes.
Yeah. So healing is
And that's you're
internal.
already healed. So you're not thinking about, am I being healed? Because you already are. But you don't even know you're being healed.
Interesting. Are you interested in, so one of the waves of the future that I believe like healing comes from is energy healing, just the way the angels talk to us, or that
Energy.
cosmic.
It's everything.
That I really do appreciate energy work, and there certainly at this conference there's lots of energy workers. Are you open to that kind of thing?
Yeah, that's my main mission.
Yeah.
That's my main mission.
So how's it work for you? What do you do?
I guess I haven't really gotten to the energy thing yet, but in my videos I try to. I'm at the point now where I'm just trying to get out everything I'm learning and telling everybody else what I'm learning. Like everything my angels tell me, I'm telling everybody now. Eventually, I'll get to the point where I can start talk. I actually talk about energy a lot, and because I even like tell people like maybe like the words you say cause like spirits. It really does. So it's like you say something bad, that creates an actual like spirit. Because when you speak out words, they come as like spirits. Whether it's good or bad, it's gonna happen. So it's better just to keep it good. It's better to love. It's better to be kind to someone. And I believe in karma. What you do comes back. If you don't see it in this life, you heard from many NDEs, they see it in their life review. And feel exactly what they would do to the other person, or what they said to the other person.
Interesting. Well, maybe in your future you will be interested in energy work, or even becoming an energy
I'm sure
worker.
I will,
Yeah.
but it's just, how can I say it? I guess I haven't like graduated to that point yet.
Yeah. Well, what did they say about he's at the 6-year mark, and it took me 20 years fully embrace my near-death experience, but there's more information about it, so I think people are pushing on a little quicker. But yeah, so maybe you need a few more years of
it's just
getting to that.
it's more things I have to learn first. Before I already know it's more things I gotta learn first. You gotta crawl before you walk, and right now I'm crawling. Like I'm just crawling with the YouTube videos now. The content will probably start changing. Who knows? I don't know what I'm gonna be told. Because when I do my videos, I never know what I'm gonna say.
You just start talking.
Yeah,
So
I literally just let my angels talk for me. And it's funny because it wasn't ever supposed to start off like that. I was supposed to start off with the subject, and then I kind of know what I was gonna say. But the first video, I didn't know what I was gonna say. So then I just winged it. Then after that, I did the next one like that, and I was like, I'm just gonna do all my videos like this now and see what happens. Half the stuff when I'm editing, I don't even know I said.
Oh, interesting.
And I honestly, a lot of times, I really don't watch my videos because it's like I feel like I'm not really important like right now. I want people to listen to what I'm saying.
Yes.
I don't want to have to.
Are.
Yes, I don't want to have to edit and try to critique all this stuff. I'm just getting a message out, and I want people to I want people to hear exactly what my angels tell me.
I think we would both agree that the message is more important than the messenger.
Yeah,
Yes.
the message.
Yes, the message of love is way more important.
Way more important.
And most NDEers who come back, like I was shy. I didn't want to be a teacher. I didn't want to speak publicly, and yet I was told I had to.
Yeah.
You know, so that it just opens up naturally the way it's meant to. You know, and I think that's part of it. My battery is unfortunately running low, so I'm gonna just ask you one question. I'll let Peter ask a question, and then we'll just end. But what do you say, and what do your angels say? What does your guidance say to those who are hurting like you were, and
You're
you know, got
loved.
to that point of wanting to commit suicide?
You are loved. That's it.
Well, you stole my thunder because I was gonna ask you, Chris, what's the most important, in the briefest way you could say it, the most important message you have?
You are loved.
See, there you go.
Yeah,
And
you're
yours,
loved.
listen, Trish, your message
Yeah, is that you're loved. I mean, it really is.
and mine,
Yeah.
that you're loved.
Yeah,
That's it.
it's amazing.
It's really simple.
It
It's
really
not
is.
complicated at all.
And love is all that remains, and all that matters, and all that we take with us.
Mhm.
And
Can't beat love. You can't.
You can't.
With the most, with
It's
the
the only
most
real
hate,
thing here.
with the most hate in the world, you still can't beat love.
That's right. Love is the only real thing there is. It's the only thing you get to take with you.
yeah,
All the love you gave away, you get to keep. All the love that was given to you, you get to keep. It's your treasure.
But I can answer that question why it's like. I mean, I can answer
Oh,
why
cool,
it's like
cool.
that though.
Say
The
it.
reason why it's
Say it.
like that is because when you really think about it, we all came from love.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So our core.
Yes.
So every person in the
Ta-da!
world. So every
Yes.
every person in the world came from love because they are
That's right.
from love.
Because God
So
is
all
love.
the stuff they do, like all the bad stuff they do, deep down there's still that love there.
Mhm.
The bad stuff wasn't always there, but the love was always there.
The original source of every self is divine love.
Yep.
yeah. And you know, I
You
don't.
can't escape it.
No, unfortunately, unfortunately.
And I know that you had a second near-death experience, Peter, and I don't know if you felt this, but I had a health scare once, and just as I was about to black out, all I felt was just total love for everyone, and I wanted, you know, from my enemy to the
Yeah.
people who'd wrong, I just
Mhm.
wanted to go, have a great life, I love you,
See you
goodbye,
later.
I love you.
I'm
You know,
outta
and it was
here.
all just love,
want
you
you
know,
to be
that's
here
all it
too.
was. It was
Yeah.
just
It's
love.
just love.
And we just get messed up along
Mhm.
the way, and we forget that we're just love.
In every circumstance, the answer is always love.
Yeah,
Every single trial, always love.
Always.
that's the healer.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Chris, for talking with me. And it's been awesome. And thank you, Peter, for
been great.
joining
Glad to be
in.
here.
been
Chris,
great.
it was great to meet you in
Nice-
person.
Right?
We talked a bunch on Facebook, and
Yeah.
you know, it's great.
These are like real stars here. I'm just like the rookie in this, so I don't.
Oh, no,
No, see, we're all actually on the same team, and we're all in the same level because only one is above us, and that's the divine.
Yeah.
The rest of us, we're all just.
We're-
I'm kidding.
I feel like we're like spider webs from the divine. You know, like God is just like using us all in beautiful
Yeah.
ways. We've just
Yeah.
got
The
an array of
connection.
Yeah.
that love.
It's connecting.
Well, all right. Thank you, beautiful light-filled
Shalom.
souls. And this has been fun. I got to figure out how to exit out.